Now, deference to our friend Carl over here, I say here, use the opportunity to get tight and trim. Not really talking about fitness and exercise here, Carl, sorry. But, and I really am amazed I'm going to do this, but I'm going to pick a quote here from Rahm Emanuel. Rahm sort of says, you never want a serious crisis to go to waste, and what I mean by that is an opportunity to do things you think you could not do before. And so, you know, he was talking about how do you take the economy and sort of do some things you couldn't otherwise do. I'm not sure if he was the first person who said that, but at least he recently had sort of said that. And so take the opportunity, create some opportunities that may be otherwise negative, but you know, think about your staff. Is everybody on your staff the top-notch person that you want? In a time of serious economic downturn, you know, how do you look at the opportunities that you can take to make the changes that you wouldn't have otherwise made if it didn't get tougher? I'm not saying use it as an excuse, but as you think about your staff and you think about the ability to sort of get what you need done, if you've got to cut costs in your business and you've got to think about it, now might be the time to sort of make that layoff, to sort of cut that person, because you got to do it for your business, but you wouldn't have done it otherwise. And so allow this opportunity, take the opportunity to make some changes, tighten your focus a little bit. Think about your products that aren't doing so well. Challenge your staff to reduce costs by 10%. Just set some arbitrary numbers. Sandy Cutler from Eaton Corporation had some goals to sort of grow his company at a certain level, and he set a growth goal of 10%. And everybody said, wow, Sandy, in these times that's kind of crazy. Every one of his areas that he tasked with those growth goals hit the targets or came very close to them. He got 8.5%, 9%, 6%. And they said, well, you know, you didn't quite hit your goal. He said, well, sure I did, because if I would have said 5%, I would have gotten 3. I said 10, I got 8, I got 9. He said, it's the way people operate. But, you know, set your goal and do some of those things you wouldn't otherwise do that in this time. Around people, one of the things that's been interesting to watch in Wall Street, I have some friends who work in the financial markets, and some of them work on Wall Street, and some of them unfortunately got laid off. And they thought it was very interesting because when they left their Tier A firm, they saw this other phenomena happening. A lot of the Tier B firms let go of some of their weaker people and hired them because they used the opportunity to upgrade their talent. There's a lot of talent out there right now. If any of you are hiring right now, and I know some of you are, there are people hiring right now, there's a lot of folks out there who are very interested in looking for jobs. Some are laid off, some are just looking to make a change, but we're starting to see some more of that activity on the job boards and the hiring processes. So how can you use the opportunity to upgrade your staff a little bit in these times? And just decide to stop doing stuff. The last one, and this, some lawyer friends of mine were talking about this the other day, pay attention to collections. One of the tendencies of companies in this environment is to cut your customers a little slack. You just can't do it. I sort of said to some folks, you know, in this economy we've created all kinds of new banks. They're called small businesses because your customers take advantage of your size to sort of finance their operations on your back, right? They slow their payables down and you end up with longer receivables. You got a couple of choices there, but the lawyers that I know that sort of look at this say, you got to stay consistent. If your terms are 30 days, send a letter at 30 days, stop providing the services, do the collections, that's the only leverage you have. If you wait too long and they don't make it, you're not going to make it. Don't wait in line for your money. Go get your money and be consistent about it because you need that process to sort of go back to when you get into sort of if you get into a situation with your customers. Think about changing your terms with your customers if they really need it, but at least force them to have the conversation with you and make some commitments to you about how they're going to pay.